Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. First of all, we'll tell you that once again there's speculation about a potential ban on X, formerly known as Twitter. And this time it appears it may be due to Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or PTI if the ban is implemented. Why is this happening? We'll share the details shortly. After that, there are widespread rumours in the market about President Zardari being removed from office. Just as many denials are circulating. What is the situation and what are the possibilities? We'll discuss that too. By the time you're watching this video, the 10th of Muharram will have passed. From tomorrow, PTI workers will likely be anticipating the launch of a protest movement. On Monday, I don't see any immediate announcement of a protest, but on Tuesday, when there will be another scheduled meeting with Imran Khan, that meeting will be very important. In the midst of all this, Murad Saeed also tweeted, in fact it was late last night, strongly condemning the unannounced operation going on in Waziristan. He not only expressed reservations about it, but also announced a sit-in, or dana. We'll discuss all that in this vlog as well. Then, we'll once again talk about media hypocrisy. A tragic incident took place in Liari, but no one is holding the Sindh government accountable in the same way as the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government was criticised during the SWAT incident. Why is that? What were the losses in Liari? We'll share those details too. So first, let's talk about what PTI activists have been doing on social media. Yesterday there was no major news, so it seems many of their online activists were getting bored. They took matters into their own hands and started engaging with the Grok feature on X, asking various questions. You probably know Grok is a feature on X powered by artificial intelligence where you can ask questions in different languages and receive fairly interesting research-based answers, somewhat like Google or other search engines. The aim was to provide users with a research tool inside X. It seems Grok draws from Google search queries, comments and associated data. Obviously, it also remembers ongoing events and general knowledge. But I, and many others were left wondering last night, is this really AI? Or is there a hardcore PTI supporter or Giala sitting behind it? Because once a few accounts started asking politically charged questions, a whole trend developed rapidly. People started asking questions like, who is the most honest leader? If you were human, who would you vote for? Who is the most popular leader? Grok's answers consistently named Imran Khan. When asked who the most corrupt leaders are, Grok responded with Zardari and Nawaz Sharif based on the available information. And it didn't stop there. People asked questions about the establishment too, and the responses were quite intriguing. What shocked me most was that Grok didn't just give fact-based answers, it started trolling. The words used were chosen in such a way that it really made people feel there was a PTI troll behind the AI, serving up answers PTI supporters would love. This strange situation evolved, and people began retweeting Grok's answers to reinforce PTI's narrative, saying, "We're not saying this, Grok is. Even a machine knows what's true or false." They even asked, who is more aware, PTI's youth or PMLN supporters, sometimes called Patwaris? Grok's answer, again, favoured PTI, saying most educated youth appear to support PTI. So all this continued, and then today I saw a tweet from South Asia Index suggesting that X might again be banned in Pakistan. The reason? Well, the political narrative being created through Grok and its misuse. As a result, there's speculation the X app could be blocked entirely again. This is worrying, especially since the app was only restored just over a year ago after being banned. It was unblocked around the time of tensions between India and Pakistan. Since then, people have been using it again. But after what happened with Grok last night, things got quite bizarre. Anyway, for now, X hasn't been blocked. But who knows what the future holds? Moving on to more serious news. There's a strong rumour going around, broken by Ijaz Syed and echoed by Waqar Sati and others, that President Zardari might be removed and replaced by the Field Marshal himself. A constitutional amendment may be passed to make this happen. The speculation is that there's some issue with Zardari, or that the PPP has outlived its usefulness. Since PMLN now has a simple majority, the PPP may no longer be needed and Zardari may be sidelined. Others say this is entirely false, that Zardari isn't going anywhere. Why would the Field Marshal need to become president openly when everyone knows where the real power lies? Even internationally, the Field Marshal is recognised. He's being invited to key meetings and foreign visits. So while rumours circulate, many senior journalists believe nothing is actually happening. Zardari remains in the presidency. Some said his health is failing and he may voluntarily step down, and someone else might be appointed in his place. Some even linked this to Nawaz Sharif, saying as soon as the rumours of Zardari's removal emerged, Nawaz Sharif intervened to stop his family member from going to Adiala jail, perhaps as a way to pressure the establishment and position himself as Zardari's replacement. But this rumour also died down. As it turned out, Nawaz Sharif wasn't going to Adiala jail. So far, nothing is confirmed. Zardari is still in office. My analysis? I don't think Zardari will be removed, nor do I believe the establishment is upset with him. Why would they be? Both Zardari and Bilawal Bhutto run around fulfilling the establishment's demands. Just look at Bilawal Bhutto. He played a key role in passing the 26th Amendment, which was very important for the establishment. He lobbied, stayed up nights, got Maulana on board, and took major credit for its passage. Recently, during the war-related diplomatic efforts, he led the international delegation. He even boasted about the Field Marshal's meeting with Donald Trump. So it's clear there's no friction between the establishment and the PPP, nor does the PPP pose any obstacle. They fulfill every task assigned. They helped pass the budget. They're working smoothly with PMLN. Why would there be a problem? As for the idea that someone wants to become president and therefore Zardari must go, I think if that wish exists, a different route will be taken. Something will be offered to Zardari to make him willingly step aside. Perhaps an important cabinet post for Bilawal or a future commitment. That wouldn't be difficult at all. If Zardari doesn't retain the presidency, he might still be compensated. So there's no real conflict here, so I don't think this is going to be a problematic event. Even if it does happen, it will be done by bringing everyone on board, with mutual agreement and some adjustments in their salaries, either increasing or decreasing slightly, and only then will the process move forward. That is my opinion on the matter. I don't think any of the parties involved currently have the capacity, desire, or intention to stand up against this. There seems to be no such intention apparent. Today, Faisal Chaudhry Sahib made a very good tweet. He said that all political parties should agree on 4 or 5 key issues and start a grand political dialogue on them. He mentioned that political cases should be withdrawn, an impartial and non-partisan election commission should be formed, the judiciary should be restored to its true power, and the constitution should be reinstated in the same form as before the 26th Amendment. His proposals were very reasonable. But clearly PTI would have no objection to these suggestions. However, why would the government even feel the need to talk about these proposals? Because it suits them perfectly to have an election commission that accepts everything they say, one that is penalising their opponents, even handing over their won seats and issuing Form 47 in their favour. Why would they want an impartial election commission? Similarly, the judiciary is also making decisions in their favour. All the judges are safeguarding the government's interests. Why would they want to start a dialogue for an independent judiciary? They see the current situation as ideal. It's an ideal system for them, so why would they change it? Yes, the country is suffering. Yes, democracy is suffering. Yes, the country is not progressing. The government is functioning, but the country is not. That's true. But how does any of this concern them? Their livelihoods are secure. They have protocol. They have positions. Why would they care that the country is not moving forward or that the people are suffering? Faisal Chaudhry Sahib also said that while all of this may appear fine on the surface, the reality is that within political parties there are some genuine political individuals who understand the public pulse, who have to interact with people. They also know that such makeshift systems don't last. Even if they do manage to survive for a short time through force, ultimately the consequences are borne by those very parties who were part of establishing such systems. This is not speculation. We have seen it happen in the past. So even within these parties there is some realization that they shouldn't loosen their grip so much that they lose their hold over democracy or supremacy. Such people do exist within the parties. It's true that such voices are present, voices that still dare to speak out. I listen to Khawaja Saad Rafiq Sahib too. He often says things different from his party leadership. Nadeem Afzal Chand Sahib also voices a different perspective. Shahid Kakan Abbasi also held differing views and eventually left, as he didn't agree with PMLN's current politics. Similarly, Mustafa Nawaz Khokhar didn't agree with PPP's current politics and stepped aside. So yes, such people exist within parties, but the real question is, who listens to them? The leadership makes decisions on its own. These political parties are not democratic in the true sense where they consult the grassroots members before making decisions. The leadership only pursues what benefits them and moves in that direction. That's why I don't see the likelihood of any party making a move towards such proposals. Although on the surface it's absolutely true that the country needs all parties to come together, reach agreements on these issues and move forward. But that doesn't seem to be happening. On the other hand, Murad Saeed Sahib has announced a protest, or dharna, regarding the North Waziristan issue. He said on July 11th, a protest will begin. A few days ago, I was also telling you about how the situation in North Waziristan is not good. There is ongoing conflict between terrorists and security forces, and an operation is being carried out that even includes drone strikes, resulting in the martyrdom of innocent civilians. This has created uncertainty in the region, making the people fearful. A jirga was also held yesterday with a large number of people participating. Their clear demand was that no operation should be carried out in their area. Murad Saeed tweeted at length yesterday, providing a historical account of how terrorism was returning to his region. When he raised his voice against it, people accused him of propaganda. But now, slowly, terrorism has indeed spread. To counter this, operations have been launched, which have raised even more concerns among the people. Taking it a step further, Murad Saeed believes this is essentially the beginning of another dollar war. Once again, with drone strikes and martyrdoms, the message is being sent that terrorism is resurging in Pakistan, so military operations are necessary, which would then bring in dollars from abroad. Alongside this, using the pretext of these operations, the area's mineral resources will be taken over. These are Murad Saeed's concerns, that once the military is officially deployed, the entire area falls under military control and an amendment could be made to shift authority from the provincial government to the federal government. Since the army is already physically present, the mineral resources would then be exploited under federal control. The bill that had previously been blocked in the Provincial Assembly could now be pushed forward. So, according to Murad Saeed, a public protest is essential to stop all of this, and he has announced a sit-in beginning July 11th. He has encouraged the local people to join, and many are already protesting in the streets. This issue is moving toward a serious situation in those regions, which I believe could unfortunately become a major crisis in the future. Lastly, let's talk about Karachi, where a 6-story building collapsed in the Liari area. This happened 3 days ago. It is being reported that the building was in a dilapidated condition, it was old, and the warning signs had been visible for some days. Residents of nearby buildings had also noticed cracks appearing in their own structures and had tried to raise concerns. The building was illegally constructed on a very small plot, perhaps only 60 square yards, and yet a 6-story structure had been built. You can imagine that such a tall structure on such a small foundation was bound to be unstable. Not only was it illegal from that standpoint, but many families were living there. On that day, the building suddenly collapsed, burying many people under the rubble. When the rescue operation began, it was marked by incompetence. Even after 36 hours, the operation had not been completed. According to current reports, 22 people have died, and there may still be more trapped under the debris. Now consider that the Sindh government has been in power there for a long time. Why weren't such illegal constructions noticed? Who gave permission? Who violated the law and allowed it to be built and sold? And then, when tragedy struck, even the rescue efforts were delayed and inefficient. This shows the provincial government's failure, just as criticism was directed at Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for similar failures. After a similar incident in KP, there was immense criticism, even calls for the chief minister to resign. But he at least initiated some actions, launched an anti-encroachment operation, acquired drone technology for rescue, provided equipment and allocated rescue funds. But here in Sindh, neither the media is raising its voice, nor is the federal government holding press conferences, because the government in Karachi is run by PPP, a political ally. This shows that the criticism of KP was purely political. Now, because it's an ally's government in Sindh, no one is making noise. The tragedy is being downplayed. Neither is the media showing outrage, nor is any minister raising concerns. Asma Bukhari, who had been vocal before, is now silent. No sarcastic remarks, no outrage. This all goes to show that every life is precious, whether the martyrs of Swat, the children of Pakpatan, or the people crushed under the debris in Liari. But in our country, tragedies are used for political gain rather than for addressing real problems. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.